All-Star Wrestling appears in Baltimore at the Baltimore Civic Center. Scheduled to lock up, ladies and gentlemen, will be Pat Patterson, his opponent, Larry Zbyszko. And on the 27th of September, scheduled as well, you're not gonna believe actually this match until you see it. Because the self-professed king of pro wrestling, the big cat himself, Ernie Ladd, who was devastating in his last appearance in Baltimore, hopes to be that much more devastating over the otherwise undefeated Andre the Giant. Notwithstanding the World Wrestling Federation title defense of Mr. Bob Backlund, as Bob Backlund readies himself to square off against an extraordinary opponent. And Mr. Backlund, now our guest. Here to my left, Bob Backlund against Fred Blassie's Hangman, and that is going to be perhaps an uphill battle.
Yes, it's going to be any man that's #1 contender is going to be tough for any opponent, for any champion. And this Hangman's going to be tough for me. I've been studying his background, his record, and he's been all over Europe. And so far, he's been doing very, very well in the World Wrestling Federation. And he's got Freddie Blassie in his corner. And like I've said before, it's always nice to be able to hurt Freddie Blassie in any way I can, and by beating one of his men, that hurts him the worst way you can, because it takes a little money out of his pocket. You know, he's always out here flashing his diamond rings and pulling out money and everything, and boy, I know that's going to make the fans feel pretty good too if I can defeat this man, the Hangman.
Is there a defense to the Hangman hold, Bob?
Well, there's a defense to every hold in professional wrestling, but the best defense is just to stay out of it, and that's what I'm going to try to do. But if he gets it on me, I can get out of it. I've been working on some counters for that hold, Vince.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Bob Backlund, the World Wrestling Federation champion, on his way to Baltimore, Maryland, at the Civic Center to take on the #1 contender, the Hangman. Now, ladies and gentlemen...
Wait just a minute. You don't need to call my name. You said it once. And don't ever introduce me second, because I'm the king of the square circle. Don't ever have scum out here before yours truly, the king of the square circle. You saw me sweep the floor with a bum the last time that I was in Baltimore. I can assure you, I'm not as good as I used to be. I'm much better than I used to be. And I can assure you, you are going to be a stepping stone to the future for me, big dumb giant. I'm the man that can beat you. I'm the man that's going to beat you. I want this to be put on TV so not just one house full of people can see it. I want thousands and thousands and millions of people to see yours truly, the king of the square circle. And I want to let the people know one thing. I have a debt to sell. When I finish with you, dumb giant, I want some parts of that Bruno Sammartino, because a man called me and said that he had never been beat by me, and I know I've beat every wrestler in the world, and Andre the dumb giant, you're the very next. Why, there's only a fool that looks upon the skills of a wise man and call it luck. Why, I'm not lucky. I'm very brilliant. That's why I'm known as the king of the square circle. Andre, I want you to get close to your TV and dig that earwax right out of your ears. I want you to understand this. Once and for all. If you're able to beat me, my mama's a possum. And don't play the dozen with me, because my mama is definitely not a possum. Andre the dumb giant, 1, 2, 3, right in the middle of the ring in Baltimore.
The big cat, Ernie Ladd, obviously looking forward to what will be, I suspect, his supreme test. An individual competition, squaring off against the 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant. So with that in mind now, our guest coming into view, yes, indeed, the only undefeated superstar of professional wrestling, Andre the Giant, and the big cat's after you.
Ernie Ladd, you may be the king of wrestling, like you said, but I'm the giant. Everybody get a chance to be the king. You just have to beat Ernie Ladd, and everybody get a chance to be the king. But nobody can get a chance to be the giant. I'm the giant, and I'm the only one. And I'm going to prove you that in Baltimore, the king of the wrestling against the giant. And believe me, Ernie Ladd, you may be a good football player, but I'm going to show you what is wrestling.
Thank you very much, Andre.
You're welcome.
Andre the Giant, ladies and gentlemen, with indeed his own opinion. A difference of opinion as compared and contrasted to, actually, the big cat, Ernie Ladd. And with these two titans clash, chances are you'll be able to hear the thunder all the way back to Towson. It's a great card of pro wrestling. The Hangman meets Bob Backlund for the title, and the big cat challenges Andre the Giant in Baltimore.